Deploy a tool to increase productivity and reduce headcount. The leaders that are leading that thinking are going to put their companies out of business within 3 years.
Leadership DO, Jay Scott's direct message to his team and clients.
Right now, every CEO is being told the same thing. Deploy AI, decrease headcount, increase productivity. Sounds like a strategy, but it's not. By the end of this direct message, you'll know exactly why 85% of AI initiatives will likely fail and what you could do to avoid that, what AI is going to replace and what it will never replace. Let's get after it.
All right. Now, here's the deal. I'm not making a prediction. I'm not making a forecast. I'm not Nostradamus. But what we're doing right now is a rerun. Like what is happening right now is a rerun. Deploy a tool to solve a thinking problem. Deploy a tool because we're not getting the outcomes we think we need to solve that problem. Deploy a tool, increase productivity, and reduce headcount. The leaders that are leading that thinking are going to put their companies out of business within 3 years. Deploy a tool to increase productivity and reduce headcount. In 2000, the dot-com crash, capital poured into the internet on a productivity revolution. The technology was real, but the businesses underneath were hollow. The old model was, what they did is they bolted websites on their old models. Let's talk about an easy example. Even if you're super young, you know that Barnes & Noble was the market leader bookstores. Everywhere there was a Barnes & Noble, everywhere. You could go to a Barnes & Noble, find a book, read a book, sit around and read a book. And I like doing that. And most people that read would tell you the same thing. They liked going to bookstores. And Amazon almost put them out of business. Why? Because Barnes & Noble was like, oh, well, this little upstart's not going to beat us, right? All we have to do is sell books online. They bolted a website onto an old model. They didn't understand what Amazon was doing. Amazon brought new thinking to technology and produced a completely different outcome. In 2008, the financial crisis, we automated securitization, okay, which scaled a broken lending model. The model was broken already, okay? We were packaging risk, repackaging it, and then selling it. So the bonds that these banks were selling all over the world were hollow. They really were bad investments. When we automated this, it packaged and sold them so fast, we had then the market crash, the financial crash. American households lost $11 trillion. So looking back to 2000, we automated dysfunction and it cost just our market $5 trillion. Back in 2008, we automated dysfunction and it cost us $11 trillion. Both times we bring the technology, both times the technology was innocent. What crashed was a new tool running the default execution system at machine speed. For those of you guys on the phone, tell me a time that you saw someone fund a strategy to deploy technology that didn't deliver the promised outcome. Or at least at a minimum, raise your hand if you saw that happen in the last 12 months.
Yeah.
I mean, we see it all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
It would be an
So,
app, an agent.
Two futures, one choice. Future one, automate the dysfunction. Year one looks like a win. Headcount drops. The market rewards the cut. Shares flourish, right? Year two, 85%. Today, this is the number. 85% of AI initiatives fail. We know this, and yet CEOs are promising the market and leading companies to increase productivity with AI and reduce headcount. Okay? But we know 85% of AI initiatives fail to do the thing that we think it's going to do because we're trying to automate a thinking and a way of working problem. Okay? So now the capability is gone, the humans are gone, and the productivity never shows up. Year three, the execution gap runs at machine speed and the promise unwinds. Or future two, replace the default system. And we plug in AI for the repeatable tasks, agentic humans for the problems that don't have a pattern, and agentic leader to lead the thinking of both. Let me give you examples that make these two things real. On an automotive production line, we can automate that. It's repeatable pattern, right? Drill, 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 weld, 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 weld. Every single car is built exactly the same way. It comes out of the assembly line. Now that car hits the road. We drive that car around for 50,000 miles. Something doesn't work. It could be 20 different things. AI can't solve that problem. Now, AI can run through all of the recommended solutions in a row. Okay. But this is where you need an agentic human, somebody that can think and problem solve when there is no pattern to match. Somebody with experience that's going to go, you know what? I've seen this one time before. And I did the weirdest thing. Now, here's the other thing I'm going to tell you guys. If you've ever worked with a tech, have any of you guys ever worked with a tech in an automotive shop? Okay. Sometimes there's a term for a fix, PFM. How'd you fix it? PFM. Okay. For those of you that don't like our rated cover your ears, that stands for pure fucking magic.
Believe it. I believe it.
Humans can do that. Okay. Now, then you need the leadership, the leading of the thinking and the way of working for both the AI that's doing the repeatable stuff, right? Because AI doesn't dream. AI doesn't come up with new ideas. AI takes all of the ideas that we have out there and applies them repeatedly. If you want something to fact check a document, AI all day long. You want something to come up with a new idea? It just can't. It doesn't. Not today, and not in the long run. And here's the thing: it doesn't have feelings. It doesn't have emotions. It can't read the room. And so when I look at, right, so if we want a different future, we need to build it differently than our last. So we've got to recognize that we can't automate a thinking or a working problem. We never have been able to, and we still can't do that with AI. So people are asking the wrong question. Is AI going to take my job? Okay. Two people, same job title. AI is going to replace the call center person that follows a script. AI will not replace the call center person that can ask questions, diagnose a problem correctly over the phone, make the human on the other side feel great as opposed to silly that they didn't realize their computer wasn't plugged in and that was the problem, that the housekeeper unplugged it. Have you ever called in with a technology problem and had them ask you if it's plugged in? And you got really mad. And then you got really mad and you said, you know what, I've been in tech for 10 years. Of course, my computer's plugged in. And then you realize your computer wasn't plugged in. I'm not saying that happened to me. Okay. But you know, so is it plugged in, right? And not make me feel, and then, because here's the thing, AI might ask that question, but they're not going to make me feel better after, right? They're not going to have patience with my poor reaction to the question and get me to actually check to see if the cord was plugged in, right? How about this? A salesperson that follows a script versus a salesperson that can overcome objections in the room, create confidence and trust, and close a deal. No, that's on this side. Leads the thinking, owns the outcome, removes the obstacles. AI is never replacing that human. You know why? Because there's no demand to replace that human. Why would we replace an agentic human that gets shit done and smiles and makes you laugh with AI? There's no reason to. So one is being replaced. The other is replaceable. And here's the deal. I don't think AI is replacing the 79% of the humans that are disengaged. It's because they're applying grit to a default system that just produces frustration. So James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, teaches us that a system is a set of processes and habits that lead to a result, right? I'm not talking about a machine system. I'm not talking about a computer system. A system, according to James Clear, is a set of processes and habits that lead to a result. And he also teaches us that we as humans don't rise to the level of our goals. You see this in the strategy execution gap, right? We are not rising to the level of our goals in the broken default system. We fall to the level of our systems. Okay. So the execution leadership system, this is the system that closes this gap, that is proven everywhere to enable the agentic. It enables the agentic leader to lead the thinking of both the agentic humans and the AI. The agentic humans are for the problems with no patterns. The AI is for the repeatable work. Same people, all 79%, same effort, different system, because the 4 T's aren't going to do it. Deploy a tool. This is the most important thing in this entire briefing. Deploy a tool and you're going to get a tool. Deploy a mindset and a shared way of working, you're going to get an outcome. If it's not the outcome you need, tweak it.
AI is just going to amplify what's already working and multiply what's already working. So start with something that works, an execution system, a way of working that you could lead both your agentic people and agentic AI with. Learn more about the system we use at 120BC with our clients at 120bc.com and how you can install it through the ELPA, the Executive Leader Performance Accelerator. Today's direct message was from Jay's briefing, The Leadership Gap Agentic AI Just Made Visible. Click the link in the description to not only watch that entire briefing, but get a copy of Jay's book with the same title. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, Zoom high five.